Okay, I'm going to show you how to go in and make what I've seen they call a square heel, a square toe, but in my personal opinion I would call it a modular toe, because that's what you're doing, you're modularly putting it together. And I've not tried this on the round loom yet, but I know for sure it works on the long looms, okay? And I've already worked the math out on how to do this. Now, typically you divide the loom in half and then divide that half by 3 and you get a number. Okay, it's going to work like that to get your starting pegs, and you'll need some paracord for this, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a 36 peg, I'm pretty sure it's 32. 36. Okay, so I'm going to do 36, and that's 18, and you divide that by 3, and that is 6. Okay, so you're going to do 6. You're going to paracord cast on 6, and you're going to do that for 36 rows. Okay, so you work up like you would normally your third for however many you decrease down to, and you'd use that number, and then you're going to do the number of pegs for a number of rows, if that makes any sense. So I have 36 pegs, I'm going to do 36 rows. So I'm going to show you how to do the paracord cast on for 7. This is my, 6, this is my center point, so I want to come back here to 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. So I need this to be my halfway point, because I'm going to go across the loom, okay? Because what we're doing here is we're doing this section right here first. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to take our paracord, and there's your midpoint, and go 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that down. Alright, we're going to put that down and put the paracord over it and wrap the front of the peg. Then we're going to go up under the paracord and wrap the front of the peg. Under the paracord, wrap the front of the peg. Under the paracord, wrap the front of the peg. Okay, 2 more. Under the paracord, wrap the front of the peg, and under the paracord, wrap the front of the peg. Alright, and then I just pull my extra through. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is then wrap that around under it again, and then I'm just going to start the other direction. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it around under the paracord one more time, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit. This will be my first row right here. Alright, this will be row 1, and you're going to go for 36 rows. Okay, but what you want to do is you're not going to start with a knit, you're going to slip the ends when you go to start the row. Okay, so you're going to slip, and this is going to be row 2, and then you're going to slip it, and this is going to be row 3, and you're just going to keep going, slipping that first peg. When you get to the end to start the new row, you're going to slip that first peg, and you're going to do this for a total of 36 rows, or however many pegs you're using is however many rows you're going to do. Okay, so I'm using 36 pegs, I'm going to do 36 rows. Okay, so here's row 4. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video and get however many rows done you need done. Okay, and as I said, what we're creating is this section here, this little section here, and then what we do is we go in and work in this section here. Alright, one piece at a time. Alright, So pause the video, get your 36 rows done, and you should have a long strand that you'll be able to touch to the other side. Again, I have not worked this on a round loom to tell you whether it works or not. I'll give it a shot, and I'll let you know at the end of the video if it does work on a round loom. And it's going to work the same thing. You're going to find your midpoint where you normally have like a pink starting peg here or a different color starting peg. You're going to count from the middle out on what your number was when you divided your half your pegs by 3. Alright, so pause the video, get 36. Now I did 44 pegs on this one, so I think it was 7, and I did for 44 rows, okay, and because it was like 7.3 and I rounded down. Alright, so pause the video, get 36 rows done, slipping the first stitch when you start the row, alright, on each side, and this should give you a whole bunch of chains to work with at the ends. Okay, I have done my 36 rows, and you can see it's going to be a little bit of a tight stretch to put it on the other side of the loom, which is what you want, okay? Now, if you're doing this on the round loom, I imagine you can't go ahead and connect the other half. You just have to work with what's left after you divided your looms in half, and however many pegs you used here, you want to subtract that from that number, okay? So it was 18, we subtract 6, naturally we have 12. Alright, so we want 12 pegs. And what you want to do is, if you're working on a round loom, I suspect you can't add these yet until you work up your short rows on your 12 pegs. But what you want to do is, if you're working a long loom, you want to count what your number was left over. So I think it's like 15 or 16 left over after I subtracted the 7 from my 44. So with this, it's going to be 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which means your first stitch from the paracord is going to go on there, and then work your way around, okay? And how I like to do this is to pull it all through, and then what you want to do is you want to take off that first stitch, and you're going to need to figure out what's going to be twisted and what is not going to be twisted. Alright, because you don't want it twisted. And so this is twisted, so we need to untwist it to where it's straight, and we're going to put it right here. Alright, then we're going to take our next stitch, we're going to take that paracord off. Alright, and we're going to make sure that it's not twisted, and try not to lose it. Okay, and make sure it's not twisted. And I did not have this trouble when I first did this. Alright. Okay. It is 2 in the morning, and I've had a long day, so this shouldn't surprise me. Alright, you're going to put it on there. Alright, and then you're going to take the paracord off the next stitch and put it on the next peg, and take the paracord off the next stitch and put it on the peg, and take the paracord off the next stitch, put it on the peg, and the next stitch, and put it on the peg. Alright, and there's your starting. Okay, now you have it quite stretched out, but it makes it really easy to do this on the long loom. You can kind of see what you're doing. What I like to do is pull from the inside of the chain so that you aren't going to have a ridge that shows up on your connection, okay? And what I do is I put that first chain on an overlapping stitch, okay, over here, and when I come over here, I'm going to do the same thing over here where my first chain is going to overlap that first stitch, okay? because you're going to have more chains than you need on this. But the thing is you just put the inside of the chain, the outside of the chain. As you can see, there's the inside and there's the outside. You just put it on the closest peg, okay? And you just do that right down the line. Now, if you have one that's where it's lining up to where you'd put 2 on it, you can put 2 on it. And you'll just knit them over. Like this one's starting to get to needing 2 on it. And so we're just going to start working that way. But you want to do this. And I always like to do the one side first and then work the other. Okay, so this one's doing 2 chains here, and then we go back to being lined up again, and then you'll have 2 chains on this one, and so you'll kind of see how that works, where you'll have the occasional one where there's 2 chains on it. Okay, so that is what you're doing to start that out. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is take your 12 and divide it by 3 again, and that is 4. Alright, so you need to find your middle 4 pegs. Alright, so we know that we started here and we started here, and these are our middle. So we need to find our middle 4 pegs. And because it divided evenly, you know it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your middle 4 pegs. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to knit over 8. Okay. So you're going to knit over 8. And you're going to increase your way out. Alright. And once you do this side, it's the same thing on the other side. Okay. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright. Then what you want to do is you want to wrap and turn, and then you want to knit over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrap and turn, knit 4, and then knit those 2 together. And you're going to do this short row system all the way back and forth and a little past your overlap. So you're going to overlap these 2. Alright. So I'm going to show you this whole section so that you know what you're doing on the other side. Wrap and turn that next peg because you're slowly increasing out, and knit your way over. Sorry. And you knit your way over. Then you wrap and turn the next peg and knit your way over. And then knit the 2 together. Then you wrap and turn that next peg and knit your way over. And then knit your 2 together. Wrap and turn the next peg and knit your way over. And knit the 2 pegs together. Wrap and turn the next peg and knit your way over. We're almost done with this section, and you'll see what I have done. Alright. And this is a really nice modular toe, in that you really don't have all these extra strings hanging around. You just kind of work your way around as you go. Alright. Wrap and turn. Knit your way over. Alright, now we've reached our outer edge. We're going to wrap and turn the starter of those connector stitches over here. We're going to wrap and turn it, and we're going to work our way back, and we're about done with this section, okay? So we're going to knit our way over, and then knit those two together, and there's your starting point over here. You're going to wrap and turn, and then you're just going to knit your way all the way around to this side. Alright, so then you're just going to wrap and turn and knit your way around to the other side, and then you're going to do the connectors again. Alright, and then you're going to be basically knitting all those stitches together down to one, and then you knit your way over. But as you can see, you just completed the short row section, which means you just completed this section up. Okay, now we need to go in and complete this section up. Alright, so what you'll do is you will knit your way over until just before that last stitch. Alright, and what you're going to do is you're going to end up doing the same exact thing that you did over here. You take your first chain, outer edge of that chain, and you put it onto the last peg to overlap it. Okay, and then what you do is you go down the line, adding the chains in, and if it happens that one overlaps, get it to put two chain edges on it, which is fine. Alright, it works out fine that way. And you're just going to go all the way down the line on that. Alright, and you're going for the outer chain, and the reason why you are going for that outer chain is you don't want that edge to show. You don't want a ridge showing, okay, because you can see you've got a ridge on the inside and you don't feel it. Alright, and if you're wondering what the purpose of this toe is, it's nice looking for one. You can do it for looks. But honestly, it feels like it just hugs your toes. I kind of like that feeling where it feels like it hugs your toes. So that's what I tend to like about it. It feels like it hugs your toes. All right, here we go. All right, we got the other half attached. And you can go in and kind of snug up those. That's the thing, this tail is you can go in and you can snug it up so you don't see these edges at all. Alright, so what you want to do is, I'll get you started again, is you can go ahead and knit these two together. Snug up that tail some. Alright, now you're going to knit over 8. So you're going to go find your midpoint again. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and sometimes it doesn't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright. Remember, you find your middle points, and then you do all the way over, and then you'll wrap and turn. So then you'll wrap and turn, and then I do 4 over, and then I work my way out to the outer side. So wrap and turn, knit 4, wrap and turn, and knit 4 and knit 2 together, and you repeat the exact same process like you did on the other side. On this side, it's no different, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and increase your way out to the edges, and then I will show you how to finish up this toe. It really is not too bad for a toe, okay? It's worth the look, I think. Alright? So go ahead and pause the video and work your way out. Remember, you're working your way out to just these overlapped ones right here. Alright? So pause the video and get that far, and I'll show you how to finish this up. Okay, we just finished the other half, and as you can see, there's my wrap and turn just on my outer of the 6, and there's my wrap and turn on the outer of my 6 on this one. And so to finish up this particular row, I'll toss all 3 loops over here. Why you shouldn't work at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Toss all the loops over there. And then work your way back to your center point. Alright. Now, we need to get every single peg to 1 stitch, and we have 2 with wraps and turns on them. So, in order to complete the square toe, to be able to start working on the foot of your sock, you're just going to knit your way around, and if the peg has 2 or 3, it doesn't matter, stitches on it, toss them all the way over down to a single stitch, so you're getting all your pegs down to a single stitch, okay? Here's our other double pegged stitched peg. Just toss both loops over, and then work your way around to the beginning. Okay, now that officially completes how to do your square heel. At this point, you work the rest of the sock like you normally would. You can just work it stockinette stitch, you can do a rib stitch in the arch, you can do whatever. This is your completed. Now, if you want to have these not show up so much, you can tug on it a little and kind of tighten up those stitches, alright? But that is, as you can see, there's that center section, and there's our short row section, okay? Now, if you're doing this on a round loom, which I have not tried this yet, and I have no guarantee, I suspect it isn't going to do very well on a round loom. You're not going to be able to put these stitches on first. You're going to have to kind of go around and add the 12 or however many you need to first, and then work that short row up, and then add these, and then you might can actually add the rest and then do the short row up. So it's probably not going to work up the same on a round loom, but it works up really easily on a long loom, and you could probably do it on the KB longer looms, and you can do it on any of the looms that are longer like this, that have those pegs close, those side pegs closer together to work with. But the reason why I like this toe is that it does feel like it hugs the toes. So it kind of feels snug around the toes. It's actually a really nice feel to it. And so it's kind of a fun toe. It's one I saw. As you know, I'm doing the sock study, so this is just another way of doing a toe-up sock. And it's technically called a square toe, but it doesn't look very square to me. It looks more roundy, and so I would rather call it a modular toe. So I'll put both in, you know, there's both in the title. Is the reason why it's called modular and square toe. Because I think it looks more like a modular toe, and even though they technically call it a square toe. But that's how you do it.